Hello everyone, and a very good evening to all of you. You join us for the second instalment of the AEC mini-series. This is, of course, the No Assists segment. Of course, an invitational event as our predecessor to Tier S in a month to 2 months' time, if I was to estimate. It's the second of 6 rounds in this very short season, with the tracks announced after each event. Loads of people coming in already. It is great to see you all. Once again, my name is Joseph, and alongside me for this one, it's not Harv, sadly, but it is, of course, the return, following his grandma hiatus, of Ross Greenhorn.
Will be a very exciting race, I suppose. Last week was jam-packed right to the line. It went between Team Valor and Future Racing Team. Risks and Stokey went to go all the way to the line. That very short gap it was. Stokey just edged out in the end though for Team Valor, but not to mention no Future Racing Team 1 point behind current leaders of the championship, which is PSR, Paradox Sim Racing, with Sav and Kai, trying to extend that gap today. So let's see who can come out on top. I'm sure it'll be another exciting trial. Also, we're here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit in Saudi Arabia, so we're going to have a guaranteed exciting race. There's already been a couple of social races during the week there in the Artemis Esports Championship, and now we've got the main event, the mini-series no assist section, as you said, and then tomorrow I believe we've got the assist section, so you'll be able to tune into that after you've watched this one.
Absolutely, and you mentioned literally to the line, 0.021 of a second it was. Stokey taking victory over FRT Risks, a battle that we will not forget in a hurry. Of course, PSR finishing 3rd and 6th. Smokey attempting that 2-stop strategy, another lap, and it would have worked wonders for him. He announced that he's going to be making that move over to PC, which is fantastic. Delighted that he's able to go on and make that switch. But tonight, plenty of new faces to the mini-series, and of course the no assists game here in the Artemis Esports Championship. 3 teams separated by 6 points, and in these shorter seasons, consistency is very much rewarded. So something to keep a keen eye out on, as we should expect it to be dry here in Jeddah, but as we load in confirmation, fairly clear skies overhead as the sun dips below the horizon on the Red Sea. This is going to be a frantic qualifying session.
Yeah, definitely ready for what is going ready to come on. So a couple of teams just returning to the game. Big one being Elite Xbox Racing EXR, Kona being Mr. Used to be PSR Stonks, now a part of that EXR lineup tonight. They've got Stonks Racing again, and alongside him their newest signing of EXR Luca, brought him from the mighty Total Impact Racing, so I'm sure he'll be looking to have an exciting debut in the old AEC mini-series. Couple another day with the MVR Rain is making his debut for Novice Racing, making that switch from Future Racing Team. I believe it's Passy is also making his Bunga Racing Team debut after switching from Parnell Racing. So a couple of people also coming back. Got Risks, seeing if they can get redemption from last week. He just missed out, as you said, 0.021 of a second it was between him and Stokey to the line. He'll try and see if he can make it that top step today in the Williams for Future Racing Team. All they need to do is outscore PSR by 1 point and they'll be top of the championship. Let's see if they can replicate what they did last week and just get another good result and keep the results flowing. I will say you'll see everyone very slowly on their out laps. This seems to be the new tactic, I guess you could say, in F1 23. It's a throttle and brake application. You just see they all very slowly make their way around sector 2. Now it's the way of heating up the tyres, it seems, in this new game. The best way to optimise heating up the tyres and getting them ready for your first lap. It should be coming very shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at the telemetry now, with Stonksby starting to get his foot down, obviously in lean and none on the engine modes. That's why the top speeds aren't anything spectacular. And we're just going to start to attack the final sector here. Make sure those tyres are nice and warm for him as the orderly queue begins to form behind him. Stonks, representing EXR now, will of course have the challenge of coming up against his former team in PSR. So that should be a very exciting watch this evening. EXR 4th in the Teams Championship on 20 points, 16 off the lead after a very good result from Anthony and Zach this time last week. So hopefully they can go on and emulate that. But through turns 1 and 2 we go. Then Stonks on his way round then. It's very tight and twisty first sector.
Now see Stonks just fly through this first sector here, usually they hold out in 6th gear, just flicks it faster to the right now with a new track. There you go! Exactly what I was about to say. You can see there, you can easily get stuck on that entry curb on the outside there, and he did see Stonks with that curb out, and it takes you exactly straight on towards the wall. Luckily he didn't hit the wall that time, be able to recharge and possibly go again, but with a low fuel mode possible here in Jeddah, you might not see another lap, may have to go right back into the pits, but never mind, we can follow on with the man just behind him, I believe that is NRX Finn in that Haas for Nexus Racing. You'll see if he can fly up through this level if he doesn't have the same problems as Stonks in Sector 1. He's going to get a lovely little tow here from his NRX compatriot, and then Magician. DRS and opens it for the Haas. He flies down the straight. You'll see the speed trap there picking up ever so often. It seems to be 208 miles an hour for NRX Finn. Purple Ultimate Middle Sector for the first lap of this session. Another DRS zone coming up right after that one at Sector 2. Now at Sector 3. He's only got one more corner to attack. A lot of corners on this Jeddah Corniche circuit. He's going to fly around this last corner down at the 3rd gear. I think I'll say much easier to take that on this new F123 model with a little snap for good measure, flies towards the line in that Haas. NRX Finn across the line. It's a 26.5, probably not as great as Lab's ever done, but still a lot of time left in it. Everyone else will be crossing the line very shortly as well. Looks like TR Luca tucks in behind him with a 26.666. Then has also NRX Magician starting off. There's a Red Bull Williams, there's an Alpha Tauri starting off. We've got a lot of mixture of cars all crossing the line. It looks like it's going to be a Red Bull next of BRT ADF1. He's going to cross the line. It's going to be an invalidated lap for him. The Ferrari crossing the line of Joseph Hales, he's in the P3, and Villarreal messed up his lap as well. And the Aston Martin, that's not the Mercedes, sorry, of TVHG2 jumps to the top with a 26.4.
Passy slotting in there in 3rd provisionally on row 2, but only 7 drivers to have a lap on the board at the moment. Rain crosses the line. That is a slow, unrepresentative lap from his perspective, getting very tight there in the first sector as drivers now begin to get out of his way on their in laps, and Rain is off the track onto that outside curb on the exit of 12. And he's come a cropper, and again it's going to be another aborted lap by the looks of things. Ali Ferrari halfway round the lap at the moment himself. Magician coming through turn 24 onto 25 and 26, the two left-hand kinks which take you on to the final corner at turn 27. What can Magician do here? Certainly showed promise in what has been almost a month now we've been on this game. A rapid one it has been, and up to the line now comes Magician, coming over that white line on the inside to shorten the distance to the line, and it was worth it. A couple of tenths advantage he has now, Magician ahead of JT, ahead of NRX Finn.
Yeah, good start for NRX. It looks like Magician at the top, Finn just in there at P3, TV8 Niagara as well for Valor. It looks like a nice little battle between Nexus and Valor, 1, 2, 3, 4 for their respective teams. Rev Capital tucking at P5 there as well, and the Alfa Romeo for Novice Racing. Obviously seen Rain F1 having a bit of a struggle on his lap. SLR Nico is flying through the middle part of this track now, the long straight part, the newly added DRS zone it was last year. He'll be hitting around 205 miles an hour, that's 3 less miles an hour than it was to NRX Finn, so maybe a bit higher downforce for the SLR drivers. Nico trying to see if he can beat Jam. Jam's coming to the 27.5 and he jumps up to a 27.00 by AERT Lou, but it's coming to the last corner now for SLR Nico. A bit hesitant on the turn in, but a 3rd gear exit for him. DRS comes up shortly after he exits that corner. Across the line will come Nico. Will he jump ahead of his teammate? He does indeed. He jumps ahead of Lou, and it's into the 26s for SLR Nico. P9 for him, and it looks like everyone is in the pits, and Stonks is back out for an outlap.
Yeah, certainly better than anything I could manage last night, which I promise you is not that difficult. Stonks, though, he's eager to get on with it. Again, another outlap coming around turn 13 at the moment with the 12-degree banking, just a little bit off of what Zandvoort has at 19 degrees. And I'm sure many of you nipping over to check out the PSGL action. They are using the F1 World Cars. That's not... it's obviously something that's been considered, but considering we expect it to be patched next week, it just seems a bit counterproductive when the issue's been in the game for, we understand, a few years. What's the point of doing it now when it's clearly of urgent concern? I think the drivers would just rather get on with it. There's no prize money or anything of the sort. So here we are, still in the F1 cars.
Yeah, no, obviously it was found out a couple of weeks ago about the whole tyre degradation difference, obviously Ferrari being the worst, Red Bull being the best, but then people tracked it back and it's been going for a couple of games now, so how no one has really ever picked up on it, we'll never really know obviously, but it was something that randomly came out, so obviously now people also switch to F1 World Cars and having to make certain liveries for teams. It's a lot of a big hassle, as you said. Usually you can just get on with it. It really won't matter too much to anyone. Also, the Ferraris will have to suffer with it, but honestly, you just have to get on with it at this point. They were going to fix it, as you said, next week. They've tried to aim to fix that. Hopefully they do patch it up fully and just give everyone the same tyre wear, but you know Codemasters, they do like to have a bug or two in the game. Stonks though, 31-5, a purple up to old middle sector apparently. Not sure how true that is, so take that with a pinch of salt as he flies on through the start of sector 2 now. This fast right-handed corner, dropping down into 5th gear. See if he can ride out that slight cut, run over there, tap of the wall on the right-hand side, a bit early but turning. His teammate was there for the tow, but definitely needed after that lap. He's probably going to back off and maybe go again or just fly back into the pit lane.
He's wide now as well through turn 22. It's a shame because his lap started out so promising. It was a very neat and tidy first sector, and it just started to get away from him coming through turns 16 and 17. Now at the final corner, turn 27, third gear. He's going to carry on with this one and just get a lap time on the board. I think he needs to, because that first sector will be one he looks fondly upon crossing the line. It is, unsurprisingly, quite a sluggish one. A 27.1 sticks him in P11 at the moment. Joseph Hales currently invalid at the moment, though might be another outlap. Chelsea fan, again claiming purple in the first sector, so has clearly made improvements so far. PSR Kai, a driver we should be watching, obviously the pole sitter in the WRR social race in the very early stages of the game. That was a 125.666. We're about 0.6 of a second away from that at the moment. Just how close can he get to that time that stuck him on pole position that night? Round at the final corner then, getting very close to that wall. You don't want to hit it because the game can actually start invalidating your laps, and indeed your next laps, if it so chooses. But PSR Kai has gone quickest. He has dipped into the 1 minute 25s by literally 1,000th of a second.
Yeah, it's just breaking that 25 barrier. Chelsea fan though up on the P2. I just catch on NRX Finn. It's 2.5 tenths up as he approaches this last corner. A bit of a traffic jam down at this last corner with the Alfa Romeo. A bit hesitant on the turn-in for him as well. With third gear exit in that Haas car. DRS open up for the Haas. He comes across line. He'll be able to jump ahead of PSR Kai. It was like a nice tidy lap for the end there as it looks to jump ahead of Kai. It's not enough, but it is still P2 ahead of Chelsea fan for NRX Finn. Magician's going to be starting off his lap. Risks jumps into P5. It will be a very good lap there for a future racing team, still trying to outscore PSR, who currently have that man at the top of the leaderboard being PSR Kai. TV at GT is going to finish off this first sector now. We see if he comes up to the sector line. He is very slightly up on his time of 31.6. We've seen Stonks to 31.5 in that first sector split. That's meant to be optimal first sector. I don't know how true that still is. It's passing and then cross the line at P6. Nothing else happening so far. JT still follows on through the second sector, keeping it nice and clean. He got a really nice ride out of that curve. He jumps on the straight. DRS open up for the Mercedes. No tow this time though, so he might lose a little bit of time to what PSR Kai did. He did get a nice tow from PSR Sav, who has also yet to get a lap on the board. A bit deep in the corner there for JT. I think he's going to back out with that one, and that is very unfortunate for JT. He seems to be going on a nice lap there, but no one else really
Sav.
on it. Never mind, because Sav He just jumped to the session. I completely missed that one, Joseph. That is my fault
Yep.
completely. What happened there?
Yeah, just luckily I was just holding on to his lap throughout that one, and it was very much worth it. 2/10 on his teammate. Not quite that extreme. Forgive me on that one, but PSR leading the way. I was having a chat to them before we started here this evening, and a 1-2 was the prediction. I can't remember which order they said they were going to qualify in, but either way, that is a very encouraging start. Again, 9 thousandths as well between Kai and NVR Rain, who struggled on his first outing. We watched him go over the curb there at turn 12, so he has come on nicely so far. I think Passy might pull into the pits. Yeah, flashing light on the rear. Nigral coming through as well. In P9, he's not pushing any longer. Is Rev Caterpillar still going? No, again, charging up to go again. He's up there qualifying well at the moment. Up in P7, finished P10 here in last season's Tier S race. So certainly a circuit that he doesn't mind racing on. SLR Jam, I think it's just completed a lap as well in P16, 27.1. His teammate Nico still up there. I say up there, just 2 positions ahead in P14, but he's actually improving on this lap, but he's got over the curb at turn 23. They've raised it even more now, so very easy to get wrong. Slightly reprofiled as well on the entrance, just a little bit tighter, just to reduce the speed the cars take that corner at, but on the F1 game, hardly has made a difference to the confidence these guys carry through there. Will Nico pull into the pit lane? Yes, he does. So started out, makes some improvements, but has not yet completed that lap. Ali Ferrari, is he pushing here? Wide entrance says otherwise. He's bashed the wall there on the exit as well. Again, can be quite punishing. He also pulls into the pit lane. That gives us a moment or two of downtime, but as I say that, Stonks and Joseph Hales have re-emerged onto the racetrack.
Yeah, Joseph Hales, the further on of the two. Stonks just coming out of sector 1. I believe Stonks actually completely hooked up that sector 1 very, very nicely. Indeed, a 31.5 seems to be the time to beat in that first sector. But Joseph Hales, though, this will probably be his final flying lap attempt for the session. I don't see him getting back into the pits in time for not even a tyre change, but to refuel and go again. But he's going to come in this last corner then for the Ferrari, for All Elite Racing Team. Currently got 2 drivers outside of the top 10. AERT Lou is there in P15 in the Ferrari, the 27.009. Joseph Hales 28.4, so he's got a lot of time to find in this lap as he flies on down in the sector 1. In the start of sector 1, sorry, third gear is very, very deep into that first turn, taking all the curb on entry. As he follows on through exit though, gets a nice exit out the corner. He did go very deep though, so it mightn't be a back off and go again very deep into the next corner. Seems to be struggling out there in that Ferrari car. You could say the degradation is high, but no excuse really for qualifying. Indeed, it comes to the end of this sector 1 now. Will it be anywhere near? Stonks just cut off with a 31.5, no 32 flat. He is 8.5 tenths up though on that old time, so he is 5 tenths off Stonks, but he's still flying on through the last. He's going to come up towards the start of sector 2, towards this fast right-handed corner. He's got to hook it up perfectly though. He wants to see if he can gain a bit more time. He does get it nicely. He gets a lovely ride at the corner. He's going to fly on towards the straight. DRS coming up around 200 metres at times. He's going to jump up in the 8th gear. Let's see what the speed trap is on the Ferrari. 208 it was for NRX. Finn for Joseph Hales, a bit higher downforce it seems. 205 to early return then. And that is the wall, and that is the end of the qualifying session for Joseph Hales. Everyone know is out on track.
Yeah, Stonks, one of them at the moment. He's coming up through the end of the first sector at the moment, really attacking. And we saw he had a good first sector last time out. This is the lap he's trying to beat at the moment. He's gone ever so slightly quicker. Not the best first sector we've seen, though, by far. Will his time come through the second and third sectors on this lap? Next up, turn 16. Will he avoid any mistakes? He didn't quite get it right last time, but this time it is looking very nice indeed. Widened barriers on the left and right hand side here to open up the track in terms of visibility, but it also gives the drivers a little bit more track to try and exploit. Half a second up, you can see where the mistakes were made last time out, and there's certainly more time found here as well. He's getting the slipstream into the final corner. No, he isn't. They've completely mistimed it down at EXR, but Stonks carries on down in towards turn 27 then. Third gear, good rotation, and now powers out of the final corner. Can he get anywhere near the front of the grid? Sectors 2 and 3 certainly improved. P6 it is. Still a long way off provisional pole set by PSR Sav. That was a really, really flowing lap, but it just isn't quite enough at this stage.
Oh, it didn't seem it at all. Kai also backed out with this lap. Sam as well. Going to be going. Eric's finish is going to come across the line for one. The final time. Can he jump to the top of the section now? Ahead of Sav. No, he cannot. It doesn't break that 25 barrier. It's going to be P4 at best for NRX Finn. Chelsea Fano is also up on his time. He's half a tenth up on that 26.2. That'll break him into the point ones. It's still not enough to jump him anywhere higher than P5 in the Williams, though. DRS all the way down this long, twisty straight. He's going to come on. What's his speed trap going to be? Looks to be about the same as everyone else. A 205 speed trap. So it's NRX Finn running a little bit lower wings than the rest of them, but a purple up to the middle sector for Chelsea fans. Only 1/10 behind Finn, and that'll be about the same to MVR Rain as well, and still the same to PSR Kai. And Chelsea fan may jump to the front of the grid here if Kai and Sav do not improve on their time. He's going to come into the final corner, third gear, sorry, flicked down the gears very late on. He drifted through the corner perfectly. DRS opens up for the Williams car. He's got just about across the line now. Chelsea fan across the line, and it's just P5 at best for him. Everyone else though still on their laps. Where will they end up?
Yeah, gutting for Chelsea fan. A really good effort though on that lap, going P5 there as the checkered flag falls now. Magician getting a really healthy tow by NRX Finn. 1.5 tenths up at the moment. That could be enough to take him above Chelsea fan and up into P5. Drivers still finishing their laps as we speak. JT has retired from the session. That's his session over. He will start no higher than P6. But how far down will he go? Because there's improvements made by FRT Risks, who finished second last week. Might have qualified second this week. Sav couldn't improve. Magician crosses the line and onto the second row. A dagger to PSR Kai, who tumbles down the order. But can he respond? Oh no, he lost time in the final sector. 3/100ths of a second down. Rain as well, as I was speaking. Didn't want to ignore him. I'll acknowledge him now though. A tenth up on FRT Risks. He's on the front row. Any more improvements ongoing at the moment? Rev Caterpillar still to come, goes 8th. A really valiant effort there. After all of that, Chelsea fan is down in P9. What a relentless end to this qualifying session. The final car of Joseph Hales pulling into the pit lane, and we have our grid set.
That was so unfortunate for Rev Caterpillar at the last corner. He got an absolute massive tank slap and almost into the wall. He kept it going luckily, but he could have gained probably another 10th on exit. That could have been at best a P4 for Rev Caterpillar, but P8 at best for the Alfa Romeo. MVR Rain though, what a lap in the end to take that second grid spot beside PSR Sav. 25.698 is the pole time. Not better than WRs though, but still a very, very quick time indeed. FRT Risk as well, showing his pace, their future racing team. Their newest addition to that team is really showing up on track for them. Also last week he was battling out for the win with Stokey P2 now. You'll see if he can take that win this week. But as you said though, PSR will be looking to redeem themselves as what was a poor race for them last week. Let's see then, as PSR Sav takes pole for Paradox Sim Racing, and then P2 for MVR Rain for the front row. Second row of FRT Risk and NRX Magician. You got P5 is PSR Kai, P6 NRX Finn, P7 TV8 Nigral, P8 Rev Caterpillar, P9 Chelsea Fan, P10 TV8 GT, P11 EXR Stonks, P12 BRT and F1er, P13 Ali Ferrari, P14 it's Passy, P15 EXR Luca, P16 SLR Jam, P17 SLR Nico, P18 and 19 for the AERT guys, and at the back of the grid ESV Bobberts.
Yeah, Bobbert struggling in that session, but what a qualifying it was for the 53 of you joining this evening. The new followers were all very much appreciated by everybody here at AEC. We're moving on now to race time. We'll have a 25 lap race of 50% distance on the second longest circuit on the F1 calendar at 6.175 kilometers. Your full throttle for about 80% of the lap. It's the fastest street circuit in the world, always prone to some mistakes. It's about time the chat got their predictions in. Oh, we have a couple of minutes to kill. A couple of request of facts coming in. I hope people didn't remember about them. But Greenhorn, very quickly, what is your prediction for this one?
To be honest, this could go either way. It's one of those tracks where you've just got to be perfect every single lap. There's no room for error. I see a couple of people maybe starting on the medium compound tyre. See SLR jam on the back on the soft compound tyre. Could we see him trying to make a charge for the field from the back? But if we're going to go off prediction zone, off that qualifying, I do have to say PSR Sav does look the strongest driver out there. He seems to be looking good. He hooked that lap up really nicely. He didn't hook that last lap up, to be fair to him, but he did look quick in terms of pace there. So I'm going to back the PSR Sav pole position compared to a win.
Absolutely. What have I got to say about this circuit? They actually used Google Earth to try and create some layout designs. So Karsten Tilke, son of Herman, was mostly responsible for that one. And I tell you what, he's made a bloody good facility for what it is. So it's very Marmite, and it has been, but it's starting to win the fans over. I think with its high-speed nature, it is quite suiting of these modern Formula 1 cars. Of course, we saw the battle last year between Leclerc and Verstappen. A lot of DRS tactics for that. The detection zone at turn 27 was moved to the exit of the corner following the tactics, because they were deemed slightly dangerous. We do have a formation lap. I was just double checking on that one. I remember we did last week. We do again tonight, which allows us to talk strategy. Again, a majority fielding for the hard tyres, but towards the back, why not? Jam on the mediums, Lou on the mediums, and Joseph Hales on the softs.
Yeah, nothing to lose for the all-weight racing team and the SLR guys. I mean, they're at the back, 16, 18, 19. Why not? As you said, why not go for it? Joseph Hale's going to try and make a bit of positions up on those soft tires. Obviously, he is harming himself in terms of probably the best strategy. But if he can do a soft to hard strategy, I think that could still be a strong strategy towards the end. Obviously, we know in this game, though, as the tyres start to wear, they do get very, very hard to drive with. The wear this game seems to be a lot higher, and especially, obviously, with we know the fact of the Ferrari being the worst car for tyre wear. Those softs will die out very, very quickly indeed. So it's going to have to see, will Joseph be able to make the moves quick enough to get by these drivers and maybe think about strategy a bit more. Maybe a safety car comes his way that helps them out in terms of strategy. But as you said though, everyone from 1st to 15th on the hards, Nico as well on the hards, and ESV Bob are taking no chances at the back, also on the hard tyre. So this race still either way for anyone. Who can get off the line quickest, who can jump into that turn 1.
Grumpy calls a safety car in the first 2 to 3 laps. I'd gamble for one. On lap 1, to be honest, we've got a 100% historical chance of a safety car around here based on the 3 Formula 1 Grand Prix that have taken place around this circuit. Of course, the odd chance of a red flag as well. 2 of them in 2021 when it was the penultimate round of the season. This time, it's the second round of the AEC mini-series. The second of 6, in fact. We'll announce the 3rd track after this race. If anybody wants to slide it into my DMs and we'll do a whole dramatic thing, that would be absolutely fantastic. But PSR Sav is the man on pole. A thrilling lap it was. Enough to take pole position by a couple of tenths, or 20 drivers in, one more than last week when AERT could only field 1. They've gone for some ambitious strategies down there, particularly with Joseph Hales and Lou as well on the medium tyres. P8 in the championship, top 14 score points. Anyway, we're all lined up then, ready to go here in Jeddah. And on come the lights now. All 5 on ahead of the drivers. And they're out, Sam, we're underway, and it's a terrible camera angle. I can't see a thing going down into the first corner, but it's fixed itself, and Sav takes the lead then into the first corner. A spin for Magician. Drama there in the background as the Haas has taken an early off. He plummets down the order into plumb last as through turn 4 we go now. Very tough to get 2 cars through here. Rev Caterpillar and Chelsea Fan are trying it though. Rev Caterpillar up into P7, both on a set of hard tyres. And it's relatively single file from here on out. JT and Chelsea Fan, he's clobbered the curb. Coming through turn number 8 now, and another spin in the background. Both BRT drivers are off. It's Passy and ADEF1 Her, I think both with damage. Surprised that we haven't yet seen a virtual or full safety car for the debris. But on we go then, almost 2 sectors down. Sav still leads the way.
Yeah, collision there between ADF Warner and with Chelsea Fan. He got tumbled up in that curb. He tried to get through again, but ADF Warner just got caught up from Chelsea Fan making a corner, and it was into the wall for him. He's got no front wing. That'll be a pit stop coming his way. I believe Passy as well might have got away with no damage, luckily, but at the front though, still battling away is MVR Rain. He looked to get past PSR Sav, maybe try to eye up the move as he going to the main straight. He tucks in behind them, making sure to use that slipstream to his advantage as they turn into the last corner. Now as MVR Rain will try and see if he can eye up this move on Sav. He's using a little bit of VRA. Sav's burning to try and get away from him. This FRT risk might try to enter himself into that battle as well. But in the midfield though, JT is right on the back of Rev Caterpillar, looking right down to Alfa Romeo. Diffuser, nothing's going to be happening between those two though. JT will look to the inside line. No, he does not. He tucks back in by now for Romeo and keeps P8 at the moment. No movement anywhere else on the field. A bit deep, there goes Joseph Hales, and Eric's Magician holds it on the outside and gets P15 off of Joseph Hales after what was a poor start for Magician. He got hit into turn 1. He lets a teammate through as well. Joseph Hales, he is really struggling out there and the track at the moment. But at the front though, still PSR Sav leading the way from MBR Rain and FRT West, keeping himself in there as well. But Kai will be trying to get past to help his team out the front very, very soon as well.
Yeah, the hards degrade quite a lot around here, so the softs, again, a very ambitious choice, and so much so that he's had to let his teammate through after just a lap here this evening. Let's go a little bit further back again, because that's where all the action is at the moment. On board with ESV Bobbits, as the gap starting to open up between Nico and his teammate Jam, which might invite a little bit of pressure from Bobbits, but he's had a poor exit coming out of turn 17, and down the straight now we go as they twist and turn their way through the few kinks in the straight. No DRS yet available for these cars in the train. The DRS train will start to form relatively soon. And now on we go then through turn 25. And will anybody pull out and try and make the move? No, still single file at the moment, but further forward, wheel to wheel, Chelsea Fan and Ali Ferrari. On the inside is Chelsea Fan, on the outside Ali Ferrari, and they've got through there, still side by side. Starting lap 3 we go now. Further forward, PSR Kai has made a crucial move and got up into P3. He's still on the inside through turn 2. He'll try and edge out the Williams through 3. Risks having a very small slide. But up goes the AlphaTauri. Now NVR Rain sandwiched in between the two PSR drivers.
Yeah, the back here, Eric's Magician trying to get past SLR Nico. Nico was not far backing out. He has in a loose position now. He's lost 3 positions in the space of 5 corners. Lou getting through now. Nico trying to keep it in there on the inside. This is not a usual place for overtaking. Lou has to take a void in action, and that is not the place where you want to be making overtake, Mr. SLR Nico. He's probably forced Lou off there. Teammate Niagara out gets through on Rev Cap, although seems to be struggling a bit more. She's used a bit more battery than what Niagara has, but the front though, it's still a great battle going on as DRS now be introduced to these drivers. MVR Rain will be able to close up a bit more to PSR Savvy, trying to gap off Rain as much as he can. PSR Kai though can now try to keep up with Rain and see if he can do a breakaway with his teammate PSR Savvy at the front. FRT West trying to enter back in that battle. Chelsea Fan gets through on Ali Ferrari again with the DRS at hand. A bit more battery used for Ali Ferrari, the Chelsea Fan, but they all fly through this sector very nicely indeed. No DRS for Sav at the front. Rain closing and closing and closing. Will Sav try to put the dummy on him? No, he won't. Rain keeps to the back of him as they all try and line up for this last corner. Now Rain will try to get a better exit than what Sav does. Sav gets a nice exit though. He's trying to use a bit of battery to gap off MVR Rain, trying to get any move into turn 1. Rain's gaining though. He's gaining. He is gaining a lot on the AlphaTauri. He pulls the inside line, and now AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, and the AlphaTauri can move to wheel. Not a lot of space getting on the inside there. Rain has to take the curb on the inside. PSR Sav gets back ahead though. It's still Sav and Rain 1-2.
Sav was not having any of it, and Kai almost in on the action as well. Through turn 4 we go again. Very easy to slice your front left tyre off at that corner. Supply Raptor, who's just appeared in the chat, might know a little bit about that. Good evening to you, and indeed the other 49 of you tuning in this evening. It has been a relatively clean start. No eliminations yet from this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in the AEC mini-series. NVR Rain tried to go for the race lead couldn't quite get it done. There'll be another opportunity imminently though as we get on to the DRS zone, exiting turn 17. In fact, it was a better exit for PSR Kai, who might be willing to make a move if he can, but both drivers with DRS still just biding their time here. Kai, of course, will take his pick on a potential NVR Rain overtaking mistake, because again, same sort of thing. He'll just stay behind, but there goes the overtake. He's going to take the position. He's going to take the lead into the final corner. Sav will have the DRS, though, to come straight back at him. The DRS detection line still before turn 27 on the game, just to point that one out if you missed it earlier. But here comes PSR Sav again. Will he go for the race lead? Pulls to the left-hand side, and it surely should be a complete mismatch. DRS versus no DRS. That is how simple it is to retake the lead once you've lost it at Saudi Arabia. Sav leads on lap 5, but it is still all could change.
Yeah, Mr. PSR Retro tuned in at just the right time to see his man take the lead back from the race from NVR Rain. Rain made that overtake probably not at the right time, you could say, as the DRS got flicked right back on at that overturning rear wing. They got right back past him. He's not actually creating a gap for PSR Kai now. Kai can try and gain a bit more on Rain now, and they can try and pull away from each other. Sav and Kai can then try and help each other pull away from Rain and make sure he doesn't get back in any DRS and risks, and they'll enter back into that battle as well, as Kai is right on the back of the Alfa Romeo. He's going to have DRS once more to both the drivers. He might have to force Rain into a manoeuvre on PSR Sav. He's burning the DRS, so his PSR Kai is going to pull to the inside line on NVR Rain. Rain can do nothing about it at all, as Kai still got that inside line. Rain's going to hold it around the outside. He's going to back out with the corner and give it to Kai. It is a 1-2 for Paradox Sim Racing once again. He's got DRS now though. Rain, he come right back at PSR Kai. Will he use any battery to try and keep back up with Kai? Looks like Kai's going to use a substitution from his teammate nicely, keep ahead of Rain. It looks like no movement from anywhere else on the field. Everyone keeping a nice DRS train here as we expected. It's still a PSR Sav 1, Kai 2, Rain 3.
Yeah, it's that though. Novus Racing's brief challenge on PSR coming to an end, and will Kai inherit the lead from his PSR teammate? Not into the first corner. Rain has gone slightly deep. He's under pressure now from FRT Risks, who goes the long way round at turn 2. Has the inside for 3. Oh, what an opportunistic move it was from FRT Risks, who finished on the podium last week. He's back on the podium again briefly this week. Great move there by the Williams driver. Rain dropping like a stone now through the order, and hopefully it doesn't get too bad for him, because I think on pure pace he still feels like he has a chance to go on and contend for this race victory. We're on the 6th lap now of 25, a DRS train from 1st through 9th, Ali Ferrari in 10th, 3-second gap to those in front of him. Magician as well, just in a bit of no man's land, at the moment. Adef won her, and Joseph Hales having a battle going into turn 4. Joseph Hales backs out of that one. He's already pit off of his soft compound tyres. These guys at the back will be hoping for a safety car. At the rate these guys are battling in front though, it might not be too far away.
No, not at all. Rain again a bit deep out of turn 20. I think it's 25 and 26 with DRS down the straight. Those NRX Finn try and gain on NVR Rain. You're going to keep going. Kai and Sav switch positions at the front. Obviously nothing going on between those two. They'll be trying to break away as much as they can from FR2 Risk, who is sticking with it nicely. We've got to say Rain not having a nice exit once again. He's still got DRS to FR2 Risk, but will this give NRX Finn the chance to look to the inside line? Not enough battery though. We've got to say for NRX Finn, he's about 40% less than NVR Rain, who goes very deep again into turn 1, making Costin once more. NRX Finn didn't think about trying that optimistic move that Risk tried 1 lap ago, but Rain seems to be struggling up there in P4. The pressure might be getting to him in P4. Finn putting the pressure on, keeping it on him all the way through this first sector. Rain, he's just got to try and stick in the DRS or Risks, keep himself ahead, and see if he can just lead it out. Oh, someone goes off! That's FP's or Sav! Sav took the curb! Obviously he's rode the curb from that first sector, and that's cost him 3 positions! Risk in the P2, Rain in the P3, and Finn in the P4!
Unbelievable! Sav is off! Coming through turn 8 and 9, and they had to take to the inside, going through turns 10 and 11 as well. That's setting back a few positions now. FRT Risks, who was hassling the back of PSR Kai as it was as well. The gap has now actually started to open up to a second now. Kai's a little bit of breathing room, and here comes PSR Sav already on NRX Finn. He'll have the inside into turn 27, and that's one move made once again by PSR Sav as he's trying to fight back through the order now. But will NRX Spin take him back? Because there's a bit of a gap to NVR Rain in front. This race is truly anyone's with the mistakes the curbs can cause around here. Any lack of concentration could see you tumble down the order. Example set there by PSR Sav. Lap 8 of 25 now. PSR Kai leading the way. Still the DRS train we've got. And still side-by-side action with Nigral around the outside on Rev Caterpillar, who's the one attacking from P7 at the moment. Not much room out there. Still he's left it though by the Mercedes. Going into turn 4, he stays put behind the Ineos rear wing. This is very much entertaining as it can be at the moment.
As we thought, but look at that front of the gap at the front, Joseph. 1 second has been broken between Kai and Risks. Risk under pressure surely from MVR Rain if he can't get back in that DRS gap with PSR Kai. Kai is gapping him unbelievably in this lap. He's pushing all his way all the way through that first sector now to the start of the second sector. Now he's got 1.2 second gap between Kai and Risk. Risk no DRS on this straight. MVR Rain now has got a chance to gain a bit on Risk. Risk slides at the corner. He's going to have to try and see if he can use the DRS to his advantage now, MVR Rain, and gain a bit more on Risk. Not enough battery to be said though for Risk to defend from MVR Rain. If he keeps on catching up, he's gained about 3 tenths down at that straight. He's going to see if he can gain another 3 tenths down this straight and see if he can close up enough to get a move done into turn 1. He doesn't want to do what he did to PSR Sav a few laps ago, where he overtook him down the straight and got right back overtaken into turn 1. He's got DRS once again. As you see, he's lifting off, not giving DRS to FRT Risk, so he probably wanted to let him through there, but 1.4 seconds is the gap now at the front. MVR Rain's are going to try to get a better race than FRT Risk. There's nothing Risk can do about this. DRS will open up for the Alfa Romeo car. That rear wing is wide open for MVR Rain. Going to move to the inside line nice and early, and through he goes into P2. Rain P2, Risk P3, Sav trying to fight his way back after that mistake.
Yes, could be a race-long battle. Both Risks and Rain making a few errors still at the moment. Certainly not perfect what they're doing out there, but they're doing a blimmin' good job for their respective teams at the moment, who I'm sure are both loving it and I'm extremely nervous at the same time, because a good result could go astray here with a single mistake. Again, just riding those exit curbs anymore, and you might Mick Schumacher it. He had a crash on the exit of turn 12 in 2022 in qualifying. Remember, that completely split his Haas car, and not for the first time around here as well. A crash at turn 22 a few months before brought out the red flag and the start of the controversy we saw in that race. Sparrow Fox saying this track makes me far too nervous, Joseph Fella. Yep, it makes me nervous even commentating on it. The adrenaline that the drivers have pumping around them at the moment might just be keeping them sane. Just nailing every single corner in this no assist division. And on goes now PSR Sav. Can he get back up into P3? He might be able to take it now because he still have DRS down the start-finish straight for FRT Risks, who's sort of been forced into the move from the pressure from PSR Sav. Wheel to wheel around the final corner. Rain on the outside, Risks on the inside. Who's going to have the DRS here? Rain actually picks it up, but Sav on the left-hand side. Is he going to take both of them into the first corner? Yes, he is. Sav from 4th to 2nd after the earlier mistake. He can now start chasing down his teammate once again. 1.5 seconds is the gap. Can he close in, though, to DRS range?
Let's see his MVR Rain will do his best to get back past PSR Sav. So now back to that PSR 1-2. This time Kai leads the way for Sav. They actually swap positions, and that might have put Sav under a bit of pressure, gave him a bit of dirty air in that first sector, and that might have caused him to take that curb last time out, as it was about 2 laps ago where Sav went from 2nd all the way down to 5th, but now he's already back up into that 2nd place. He's really shown his pace today as expected when he took that first pole position. 1.5 seconds though is all the gap is between Kai and Sav now. Sav's got to try and push a bit more, get back into the DRS of his teammate Rain as well, keeping himself in there. FRT Risks, see if he can get back past MVR Rain for that final podium place. And alright, fit lovely little kink of the wall as well, fly onto this middle sector straight, this twisty turning straight with the DRS open up for 3 of those cars. Rain P3, FRT Risk P4, NRX Finn in P5, Nigra as well. Do not count him out of this race yet, he's not had a lot of action, but
another mistake.
Cannot get him out. Just, yeah, but it's 5.5 tens is Rain as well. You said another mistake for the Alfa Romeo. Risks, also doesn't want to overtake on this straight. PSR Sav's going to be under pressure though from MVR Rain. Rain just black out very, very slightly as it goes into this final corner. We'll have DRS to come up the straight now to get bypass PSR Sav. Good exit for Rain, not a great exit for FRT Risks. So it doesn't look like it's going to be an overtake for Risks. There's going to be an overtake for Rain though, as Rain's going to look to the outside line on PSR Sav. He leaves it open, he doesn't leave it open actually. Sav playing a bit of a hold up game, it looks like, for his teammate out in front. A bit of a weird teammate doing a bit of hold up. Only lap 11 of 25, but Rain still trying to stick in it with PSR Sav, but Risks still P4. Nothing happening so far in that lap indeed, but no movement. Still Kai out in front.
Yeah, it is 1.7 seconds now. The gap still the DRS train from 2nd through 9th, and Magician now the one really dropping off. And I feel bad for not really acknowledging the battles towards this mid-pack at the moment. The train led by Magician. Ali Ferrari has a penalty to his name. It's actually quite a lot harder to pick them up around. Oh, there's a car in the wall! It's SLR Nico! And it looks like he's just bounced straight out of it and back onto the racetrack again. Very bizarre. It looks like he's still going. It might have been a bit of lag. I'm not quite sure on that one. But there's no need for any race intervention. So that's the most important thing. And maybe to the disappointment of the SLR AERT drivers further back at the moment who are struggling in this race. Meanwhile, the gap's still at 1.8 seconds. No real changes throughout the course of this lap so far. Ending lap 11 now, just about as it started.
Yeah, no movement from anywhere else. PSR Kai up 4 positions from the start. Everyone else, everyone behind Kai from Sav, Rain and Risk down 1, and then you got NRX Finn, Nigel with Capital all up by 1, GT and Stones also up by 2 as well. Highest manoeuvre though, ESV Bobbers from the back of the grid, the man on the pad. Back there in P13, he's now also in the points of this AEC point scoring system. He's now in the points. See Ali Ferrari, his teammate, battling away with Dynamic Magician. He gets by as you go into turn 1 there. See no movement from anywhere else. So I think, Joseph, we're going to start seeing some pit stops very, very soon. Lap 11, the hard tyres do not like to stay out for much longer than this. If TV8 Niagara, those seems to be flying as it's hard to actually get better for him. It looks like he's closed up a lot. 2 NRX Finn on this lap. The Rev Caterpillar can't be counted out at this battle as well. This massive train from 1st to 8th has been breaking away for a long time. P9 actually, sorry, Stunk is still in there as well. This train's been breaking away all race long. Kai at the front is still gapping away from MVR Rain. PSR Sav, just see if we can get past MVR Rain sooner, probably rather than later. But they all fly on to the sector 2 straight now. Everyone's got DRS. Let's see who's going to make the manoeuvres before the pit stops.
Absolutely. Nigro, you mentioned as well, seems to have been really nice on his tyres. The Mercedes perhaps helping with that. We won't go too much into those issues once again, but he's been nice on his ERS as well, still running at about 90%. He spent around 80% of the lap on full throttle, but still he's just managed to use up very little of his ERS so far, mainly thanks to all the battling that's going on in front of him. However, PSR Sav, this might be a return to P2 at the moment, and he'd ideally like to keep DRSing from Rain, and we've actually got some fairly early pit stops. I say early, it's the end of lap 12. It's about the prime time to get onto a set of mediums. It's Finn and Nigra that's in the pit lane. It's Sav up into P2. Are they medium tyres going on the 2 cars that have pit? Yes, they have, and the undercut is very much going to be valuable around here, considering the battle and considering the level of grip you can get from a set of fresh tyres.
Yeah, Finn and Niagara obviously nothing to lose in that train. They were the back markers of that train from 1st to 9th, so they've got the chance now to see if they can pull off that undercut as they're going to attempt. Finn came about 7 tenths ahead of TV at Niagara. Got to have a nice outlap here on those medium tyres. Obviously, mediums really aren't a favourite tyre as much on this game. Hard tyres, I'd argue, feel a bit nicer when you're driving with them on this game, but we'll see how that will affect them as they all might come to the pits at the end of this lap. Obviously, there'll be no double start on Alpha Tauri. Kyle get priority over Sav. Rain as well getting priority over Rev Caterpillar, who's now up into P5 after those 2 pit stops. He's going to be trying to chase down FRT Risks before this pit stop comes, as they all fly through the last part of this track in sector 3. You're going to have DRS on this straight. FRT Risks still just going to have to try and close up to MVR Rain. Rain's going to close up past Sav. One Sav back down at the P3, and Rain overtakes him at the P2. Will this be now a pit stop time now for MVR Rain? They all fly into the last corner now. Risk closed up a bit to Sav as well. Rev Caterpillar keeping herself in there. Who's going to dive into the pit lane? It looks like they all are. You see Rain, Sav, Risk stays out. Oh, Safsty's out as well, and then Rev Caterpillar also that may have been a bit of a cut there by PSR Sav. TVA GT also into the pit lane along with PSR Kai. So pit stops coming in for these guys. Will the undercars come out?
Yeah, let's see. I'm also informed that you can cut the pit lane line, so to speak, as long as you just keep a tyre within those white lines. Anyway, let's see what NRX Finn and Nigrel are up to then into the first corner. They've just been pushing hard on this lap. And I tell you what, they're ahead of Rain by a long shot. A vital undercut there for NRX Finn and TV8 Nigrel. Out they come into this race in possibly a net P2 and 3 because Sav is still due to pit here. He's got an extra lap because he couldn't double stack with PSR Kai, who has that 1.5 second advantage still, so you can just see the work that's gone into his in-lap. It was a very good one. He's still well clear of the pack at the moment. So let's see then if Sav responds on this lap. You assume he should, but he might have lost a few extra positions now because of the undercut, or even risks might get involved with this as well on the back of PSR Sav. He's gaining, he's going to the right hand side. He'll go the long way round at the final corner. Wheel to wheel they go. This will cost them a few tenths if they don't get it right. It looks like they have. They might both be fighting though to get into the pit lane. Only one of them is. It's FRT Risks. He has to sort of undertake on the left hand side. A bizarre situation there. Went for the move. Had to come into the pits anyway. That might have cost him more time. But intriguingly, Sav stays out and goes for another. Onto the medium tyres then goes FRT Risks, and we'll see where the cars come out. A long way ahead. NVR Rain ahead of JT now, under pressure, and this will be a very important overtake if JT can get it done, considering the position of Nigrel a little bit further up the road. Finn still in a net P3 at the moment. Be a very good result and a huge confidence booster for him on F123. But Sav, 12 seconds out in the lead. This will be a big time loss considering how long he's effectively stayed out now. He might have to go to the soft tyres.
Yeah, we need to see here what's going to happen. Sav, we want to try that different strategy to the rest of them. He knows that his teammate's going to be probably winning this race anyway. Also, he's 2 seconds clear of TV8 Nigrel behind. But got to say though, that undercut by Nigrel and Finn has worked to perfection, you've got to say. They've both jumped MVR Rain and jumped JT as well. Risks has lost out quite a lot as well from that battle with PSR Sav. We see the batters will spin that SLR, jam this time. Nico last time, jam this time, has spun round in the first sector. Not a great race from the Summit League race team. Lots PSR Sav now dies into the pit lane, so I'm guessing, as you would suggest, Joseph, I think it will be a soft tyre for PSR Sav. You'll see I've got nothing to lose when it comes to this part of the race. I don't think it's going to be medium tyres. It's going to be medium tyres, never mind. They're going for the medium instead of the soft, so he went that bit longer for the same tyre. Will it be worthy in the end? You got to see Zelcon flying down the straight now. FRT Risk goes for their Rev Caterpillar and Stonks as well. Will they be able to get out in time? He gets out ahead behind PSR FRT Risks. Sav tucks him behind Risk, and Rev Caterpillar has got to settle behind PSR Sav. So place, a lot of work to do. Those tyres will be stone cold though, so if Rev Caterpillar can just gain a bit more of them now, he might be able to get an overtake done and get back past Sav and get back into P7.
Yeah, a lot of work to do for Sav. We saw the rate of which Smokey was making moves last week on just slightly fresher tyres. Another spin further back for Jam. Hopefully he's not littering too much debris out there, because that might need the intervention of a full course safety car. But we're safety car free, we're retirement free, and I can't believe I'm saying that in an F120. Oh, for no! You just knew. You just knew.
Oh.
You just knew. Okay, let me rephrase that. We're safety car free, and we've only got one retirement in an F123 race at Jeddah. That is very good going. And like we had last week at Silverstone, in the damp conditions where it was never wet enough for the intermediate tyres, these drivers can give themselves a pat on the back because they have been nothing short of flawless so far. Here goes Rain down the inside of Nigrel, who's lost 2 positions going into turn 27, but he might wish to fight back here. Rain already gaining on Finn. Finn. This is for P2 in the race. Down the inside he goes. He's got the position before the braking zone. Up into P2 again goes NVR Rain, where he spent a fair chunk of this race so far. A small train forming though. TV8 at the rear of it. A swap there actually. JT ahead of Nigrel. I don't think that's quite what they intended. Maybe an issue for the second Mercedes, who's lost actually quite a lot of time. Pedals, wheel, loss of force feedback. It is so common that these things happen. Let's see.
Yeah, no, it looks like it might be a loss of force feedback. He was turning a lot there into that corner. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe even slight damage to the Mercedes, as he's already dropped back about 310 since the last time he let JT through. So I don't know what's going on in that other Mercedes car, but it's a good thing he let JT through, because JT can now close up to Finn and fight away with Finn and Rain for this P2 as PSR Kai 3 seconds in lead. So even if he does pick up a 3-second time penalty for his travels, it won't even bother him. He'll be still very much clear of those behind him. He'll be about a 10th clear at that point as they all fly onto the straight. Now DRS still available for Finn and JT. Will Finn now look to get past NVR Rain, just like Rain did one lap ago? ESV Bombers can get through on its Passy as well. They're all still in the points. Lucky for those guys there. Double points for Shizu, looks like, for Ali and Bombers in P12 and 13. So they all come out that last corner now, still fighting away. Chelsea fan and Magician, and it looks like Chelsea fans got by Magician before the last corner has even come, but they all fly onto the straight. NVR Finn looks to the inside line on NVR Rain and gets back through it, and Finn back into P2, Rain back into P3. It's going to be a long fight to the end between these two.
Yeah, just some confirmation very quickly. Nigrel, it was an initial loss of force feedback. He's managed to get it back though, so he's still in the hunt in this race. It did look very light, as you mentioned, when he turned across there to let JT through, and then the following corner at turn 4 as well. Still overtakes then. Finn ahead of Rain, and then Sav ahead of Nigrel as well. Still, it's the train from 2nd to 9th. We've had the pit stops on various different laps, but the race order has not really gone anywhere. Kai leading by about 4 seconds at the moment. A dominant display from him so far ever since the mistake really from Sav. He was he was able to pull away ever since. Any more overtakes perhaps going down into turn 22, gaining his NVR Rain, but you don't want to be making a move down the inside carelessly, going through turn 22 and then through 23 they go now as well. It's a really good exit again by PSR Sav, and will he make the move on the Mercedes of JT? Rain though certainly making the move on NRX Finn, inviting him though to get him straight back with a DRS towards turn 1. We've got 7 laps to go when we cross the line. Slight wide moment there I think for NRX Finn, but onto the start finish straight now we go. Here comes NRX Finn potentially, 3 tenths back, 2 tenths back. No overtake into the first corner. Rev Caterpillar though sending one down the inside on TV8 Nigrel. Again around the outside he goes. The first time didn't quite go to plan, but this time he's got the move done. A brilliant move by Rev Caterpillar, and what a silently brilliant race he's had as well.
Yeah, as I said before, Nigrel wasn't really involved in all the action, just driving away, keeping up with those ahead of him, but also that loss of force feedback has cost him a couple of positions than he might have wanted to, but he's still got the pace to keep himself in there. Use the DRS to his advantage and stick in a bit. Look at Stonks now up the inside of TV at Nigrel, and that's Nigrel back into P9. Maybe those wheel issues might be back for Nigrel as that pace seems to have dropped a little bit more. Stonks flashing away though at the diffuser there. You can see he's low on ERS, but 6% for EXR. Stonks still flying to the straight now. This DRS train from 2nd all the way down to 9th place. Again, the same train is in a lot of different orders this time as it was last time. NRX Finn still closing up to NVR Rain ahead. There's only going to be another 6 laps of racing after we completed this lap here, as NRX Finn will be trying to close and close and close on NVR Rain. He's closing, he is closing on NVR Rain. He's going to break before the line also to give himself some DRS into towards the first turn. He's going to get a nice exit from the last corner. DRS will open up again for NRX Finn, looking to get back at NVR Rain as they usually do. They like to swap positions at this point in the track. He's burning away as NRX Finn to look to the inside line on NVR Rain. He might not make it this time as NVR Rain is going to keep it there. Goes a bit deep again. NRX Finn back around the outside of NVR Rain. He went a bit deep in the corner of the Rain and gives the position back to Finn. Finn back ahead of Rain, and it's Kai all the way back out in front. 3.9 seconds clear now.
Yeah, a little sketchy going through turn 1 and 2. Finn was late on the brakes, hit the sausage curb on the inside of turn 1, but still managed to get it slowed down. A brilliant bit of driving there by the Irishman, and he's back up into P2. Constant switching between them. I've lost count of how many times they've actually made overtakes on each other throughout this race. Stonks on Rev Caterpillar. Oh, almost contact, and there was front right to rear left. Somehow, both of them are still going. Rev Caterpillar could have easily picked up damage there. Stonks could have easily spun there. But on they go then. They live to fight for another 5 laps to go. When we cross the line, PSR Stab still in P5. He's not quite been able to make the overtakes because of the compactness of this train, because of the eagerness of these drivers to re-overtake each other. Finn right up against the wall there on the exit of turn 23. Back through comes NVR Rain. Sav finally making the move potentially down the inside of JT late on the brakes. He locked up the rears this time last lap. He's not done that this time, and a good exit he's got as well. PSR Sav is up into P4. Nigrel and Rev Caterpillar. Something's happened to Rev Caterpillar in the background, but we'll go back to NRX Finn, who lost P2. He retakes P2. Sav still down the inside. JT has to yield. Absolutely incredible.
I think Rev Caterpillar may have lost a bit of force feedback or something, because he's also in AI mode. It looks like he's had the same problems as Nigro from previously. I think Rev Caterpillar has actually spun round now on the car. Rev Caterpillar for his troubles.
Yeah.
The game once again causing another driver to lose positions and to drop almost out of the points for Rev Caterpillar. Picking up some good points there for MVR alongside MVR Rain, but no longer for Rev Caterpillar at the front. Though they're still going away. Rain, and now Sav's entered back into this battle. Sav is eager to get back past MVR Rain. He wants to make it a PSR 1-2 with Sav and P2 and Kai all the way out in front. He's enjoying this race in the front. This lovely lovely Wednesday night drive, you could call it, in the AEC mini-series. DRS will open up for PSR Sav as they all fly down the straight. BRT, ADF 1 after a poor race, he always looked to say, picks up a nice fastest lap for his travels as they all fly through the last part of this track sector field. Only got another 2 corners to attack. DRS will open up. No DRS needed for Rain to fly past Finn this time. As Finn, maybe Rain will try and fly past Finn before Finn can actually make an overtake. Because here comes Sav, don't even stand on Finn. Finn can't do anything about it. Finn's been double overtaken on the straight. It's going to be a bit harder for him now to fight away for this podium. Looks like Sav is really want to get this podium there and make it a 1-2 for Paradox Sim Race. He's got DRS back that was NRX Finn. He got a lovely exit with that last corner. Sav got a bit more battery to use though compared to NRX Finn. JT still entering the fight as well, but it looks like Finn is still going to sit behind Sav for the first time in a while. No overtakes in turn 1.
It looked like a tough uphill battle for PSR South when he pit a couple of laps later than the other drivers in this train, but he's managed to get through and back into a podium position now, and very close, and I say very close, 3/10 behind NVR Rain, and an opportunity to make this the first 1-2 of the mini-series going in the way of PSR. 3 laps and a half to go though, however, and it is far from over. A real shame to see Rev Caterpillar succumb to the force feedback problems he went on to experience. If it's any consolation, it sort of feels like a mechanical failure. You've done nothing wrong, you've driven a brilliant race, and you've just got to bounce back at the next opportunity you have to race for your team, because for some of these guys it doesn't come often, and the mini-series is a great chance to participate for your team and be able to show those skills. Here comes the Mercedes of JT, and down the inside goes FRT. Risks at turn 22, there was bound to be contact, cuts the corner. JT there, he stays ahead of the Williams, and I think he had to. Just a little bit of a nudge there, almost ending in tears for the pair of them. So close to an absolute disaster. We've lost our second driver in the pit lane of ADF 1 her. No full safety cars yet, but that might have just be a jinx as Stonks has lost it on the exit of the final corner. Sav, meanwhile, has taken P2. He's ahead of NVR Rain. Absolute drama as Stonks loses it. Looks like there was the slightest bit of contact and loops around the Aston Martin. Struggling as well is FRT. Risks a couple of slides on the exit of turn 2. Is the tyre wear starting to come in, and is the mistakes from battling just a little bit too hard for the remaining positions coming into play as well?
Tired, really starting to drop off some of these drivers now. See Stokes again at the turn 1, sliding all over the place, battling away with Ali Ferrari, who did get through on Stokes after that spin he had at the last corners. Like Stokes may have some damage to that Aston Martin, going very slowly around the track now. And Magician still trying to see if he can get Chelsea fan for that final P8 position. FRT Risk just still up the road, battling away with TV8 Niagara. If he can get past him soon as well, but looks like Rain and Finn though, as Rain's now gapped off Finn. Finn out of the DRS. Oh, Rain's going to have to try and use a bit of DRS now to get back into it for these final 2 laps of racing. We're going to have Sav is already closing up that gap to PSR Kai. It looks like Kai's just enjoying his race so far, nothing to worry about for him as Sav is trying to gap off Rain as much as he possibly can. It looks like no DRS on this straight for Finn. This is giving JT a massive chance to steal P4 of NRX Finn in that Haas. The Mercedes duo of Nigel and JT can work together and see if they can tactically double overtake Finn maybe on this next, or maybe even right now as they all fly down the straight. TVA GT is going to move to the inside on NRX Finn. It's going to be one done. Can it be another one though for TVA Niagara, who's going to go to the inside? Not going to battle away with NRX Finn. It was a late manoeuvre if he was going to do it, but he's backed out. We're going to see if he can get him back again on the sector 2 straight.
Yeah, he thought about it, didn't he? He knows he didn't have to go for it there and then because, well, red light district. Oh, hang on a minute. I can't say that, can I? I definitely can't say that. Red light flashing on the back of the house, and there'll be an opportunity with the ERS to go for the move instead. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't get away with that can I? Oh dear, that's on the AEC bloopers for the F123 game, and that will definitely not be going on any sort of show reel anytime soon. Rev Caterpillar, his front wing is lodged in the wall. His force feedback has well and truly gone. And I'm not laughing at him, I promise, because, well, his race has unravelled very, very quickly. Anyway, we've got a lap to go, and the gaps are starting to open up now, so it might well finish like this. Kai, Sav and Rain, the top 3. JT trying to hold on to 4th, and NRX Finn trying to go for it, but he's waiting for the DRS detection zone. There are the games we were talking about at the final corner. He'll have the opportunity down the start-finish straight. This is, of course, to protect himself from Nigel as well, who has the double slipstream, who has the ERS to play with, and makes a brilliant double move on the start-finish straight. Wrist is late on the brakes. That seemed like a big mistake from FRT Risks. He's had to cut the corner. He's a long way off the track. Somehow, still going is JT, and I think he took a penalty for that as well. The gap might just be enough, though, to hang on to P6 at the moment. NRX Finn still with the opportunity to take 4th. We've got a couple of sectors now in the Grand Prix to go. About 3 kilometres to go. PSR Kai, who has driven wonderfully from start to finish. Pole position it was, emulating that he took in WR. Sav, who made the mistake earlier on at turn 8, I think it was. Cutting the corner there is NRX Finn as well. That might have just cost him P4. He's losing time rapidly to Nigel, who still has the ERS advantage to play with. We're into the final sector now of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and though it's been a little bit anticlimactic to what we might have seen last week at Silverstone with the photo finish between Stokey and Risks, this time, it has gone the way of PSR, who were the chasers last Wednesday. Rounding the final corner now is PSR Kai. Dominant in Jeddah for PSR Kai, who wins on the streets of Jeddah. PSR Sav makes it a 1-2 for Paradox Sim Racing. NVR Rain has taken a brilliant P3 ahead of Nigel, ahead of Finn, ahead of JT, who did manage to hold on to P6. I'm sure no hard feelings there between the two of them. Magician, that's not a retirement. He crossed the line, but he's left the game. Rev Caterpillar has definitely crashed on the circuit as well. His race over. He'll finish 18th in this one. What a race it has been, though. What are your thoughts on that one?
That was a fantastic race, got to say. Obviously not the front battle as you might have wanted from last week, as you said, in Britain, but what a midfield pack it was. PSR Sav back again in P2, MVR Rain P3, Nigel and JT in P4 and P5. We've got to say a great race for Team Valor for a 4-5 finish. PSR though creating that bigger gap to future racing team who arguably didn't have the greatest of days as they did last week. It was P2 for them last week. 6-7 this week though. Still can be proud of that performance, but Kai and Sam far too dominant for the rest of them. A 1-2 finish for them is definitely going to help with their championship charge in the AEC mini-series. Fair enough too. MVR Rain as well. He drove a very nice race there. The undercut attempt was attempted by JT and Rain, and then worked off it pretty perfectly indeed. So fantastic job by Rain getting that podium for MVR.
We have just peaked at 73 viewers, and in a couple of moments' time, I think we might be able to announce next week's track, which will mark the halfway point of the mini-series as well. But first, a quick look at the results. If you've missed anything tonight, where have you been? For starters, AlphaTauri 1-2, PSR 1-2 as they spray the rose water. Can't say champagne, respectful and all that. I can announce it, Tom, but I don't know what it is or where it is. So, drop me a DM if my Discord wants to work, and we'll do a big drum roll, that sort of thing. Well, final results then. Few penalties handed out for track limits. Again, very bizarre that we actually saw those, considering most track limits are defined by a wall or a very high curb indeed. Kai, Sav, Rain, the top three once again. TVA, who won last week, still very much in the championship hunt. Don't count them out if there's any slip-ups from our new championship leaders in PSR. Almost Noah's Ark. Rain just sort of splitting up that 2x2 configuration. Passy as well, likewise. Brilliant recovery by him. Brilliant recovery. And I don't think I mentioned his name due to all the battling this evening. Passy, who was around on the opening lap, has come home to... No, he hasn't, because of the retirements. No, forgive me. I've botched that, haven't I? Yeah, sorry.
Sure, that's not too bad. Sure, they won't really care that much about it. But yeah, no, congratulations to the PSR guys. Very dominant race by those two. I'm sure you've been sent the track by now, Joseph. I would hope Tom Nep's associated the next
I
week's
haven't.
track team. You haven't? Oh no, what's going on down in the AEC admin chat? Let's see if we can get it, Tom.
Being asked to pick the track.
If we can pick it.
I
Go
can't
on, Joseph.
pick the track.
Give us a track.
No.
Joseph. Can I pick it?
I'll
pick
let
it
you
if you
pick
want
it.
to.
I'll pass it.
Oh,
I'll pass it.
Oh. Let's see. You're gonna double it and pass it on. Let's see.
Yes.
What should we give them? What should we do? Should we do a chat vote? Do you see what the chat wants? Should we see
Yes.
all the who? Let's see. Let's do a chat vote. What does the chat?
No, let me get a
want
poll. I
for-
think I can get a.
Yes,
I think,
if you
yeah,
can get a
I
poll.
can get a poll on Twitch.
Let's do a. No,
Create
he's
a
got
new
Joseph picks. Tom, they want Joseph picks. No.
I'm not
They
picking.
want you to do it, Joseph.
I will be public enemy number one if the people don't like the track.
Cobb says Bahrain. We've got a Bahrain vote in there. I think it should go to the people. I think the people must vote. It must be go down to the people. Bahrain it is. Cobb's done it. It's Bahrain for you, Joseph. Don't you worry.
Okay. There's no democracy here.
What a cluster of events.
I really wanted to do a vote. I was setting it up and
So
everything.
did I.
We can still do one. There's still plenty of time to do a vote.
But I believe Tom Nep's had enough. I think it's time for Coronation Street in bed.
Corey, yeah. He's a bit of a Swiftie at the end of the day, isn't he? He's been after the Taylor Swift ticket, so that sort of explains it. Apparently, we're going to Bahrain next week, so another
I think
trip
so.
to the Middle East. I'm happy with Bahrain. Are you happy with Bahrain?
I love a Bahrain race. I think Bahrain is a fantastic track to watch
Let's
and
go
to
for
race on.
Bahrain then. I like that
Yeah,
idea.
I
no
think
track
Bahrain's a
vote.
good idea.
Next week, I'll ask if we can do a vote.
Yeah, I think a vote's a fantastic idea. That was a great idea, and it's just
Yeah.
got absolutely shut off. We can all have a blame
just
at Top
ruined it.
Nep. He's ruined it. He's
Boo.
absolutely ruined. Well, it is
Boo.
we should all be booing. That was horrendous.
Boo.
Ah.
Okay. Bahrain next week then. PSR, your new championship leaders this week. It has been an absolute pleasure covering another 70 minutes of frantic racing here in the AEC mini-series. Not a virtual safety car, not a safety car in sight. Brilliant all-around driving standards, and everybody again deserves a huge pat on the back, because I think we sometimes are quick to criticise rubbish driving standards, but when they're quite good, we just sort of we don't give it that recognition. But yeah, tonight certainly deserving of that. I think we should wrap it up there now. Enough waffling. I'm happy to sit here and do an AEC podcast if we were allowed to, and we'll get the Spotify account set up, and you can listen to that on your work and school commutes if you want, but I doubt that is going to happen. Anyway, thank you, Greenhorn. Been an absolute pleasure having you back, and I believe we're both here next week as well. So, if you'd like to join us next Wednesday, 8 PM BST, we're in Bahrain. Take care. Bye-bye.